I'm here today with Eric Sachs from Google. Eric, can you tell me your job title, please?
Sure. I'm a product manager for Google's security team, primarily focused on internet identity issues.
We've been talking quite a lot today about the relationship between telcos and Google. In many areas that's strange, but in this area it's much more of a kind of ecosystem feel, would you say?
Right.
We've been talking about identities today. Could you share a little kind of a top-level snippet of how you describe the relationship between the telcos and Google as an identity provider?
Sure. So many people are used to logging to websites by being asked for their email address and their password, whether you're going to Facebook, Flickr, Fandango, etc. When you go to your email provider, again, you're logging in with your email password. But here's something to think about. What happens if your account gets stolen by some hacker and you need to get back into it? What is it that you use to prove your identity to that webmail provider? Yeah. Well, it ends up most of the webmail providers are relying on the telcos for that. When you set up your account, or sometimes you'll get a prop, we ask you to give us your phone number. If your account ever gets stolen, or even if we just see strange patterns like, why is this person trying to connect to our service from Europe when they're almost always in California? We might say, hey, can we send a message to your phone just to verify it's you? So these email providers, including Google, are relying on the telcos as our basically second factor of authentication for identity.
So in a way, we were talking about whether there are competing factions, but in a way it's more of an ecosystem, is that the things work together.
Right.
One of the questions I was having for you is, in the long term, do you see there being strategic competition between players like Google and AT&T in this space, or is it kind of a little more subtle than that, more sophisticated?
Sure. Well, so we talked there for a moment about the identity provider part, that how I log into a site. But to be honest, that's sort of the least interesting part of your interaction with the site. Hopefully the site has services. They're storing your photos, they're storing your videos, they know your movie preferences, etc. So there are many of these service providers. Now, Google's a player in some of the services. We'll store your calendar, your photos, your videos, but there are plenty of other services, where we're not, a particularly large player. The telcos, on the other hand, many of them provide some of the same services. They'll store your files, they'll store your address book, and so in those spaces, we do compete. In some of these other services, the telcos are stronger, or Google's, stronger, or in some of the spaces like social networks, maybe we both compete, but we're weak as compared with other companies, right? So I think in that sort of service provider area, there's certainly, competition and co-opetition in areas, where we don't even compete at all. And in the identity provider space, we have more of a, direct pairing and, relationships.
Eric, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Thank you.